So I got the last batch of 6 bottles. My first case. Done. Just wiping off the bottles. I put 6 more bottles in the sanitizing solution, and then I do the capping. This may not be too exciting to some people, I'm sure, but gotta have our hobbies, right? Probably more exciting than my other hobby, watching me read a comic book, you know, or read a book, or watch TV anyway. Not sure. I'm not sure about that at all. It's always nice to keep a little, the mailman's here, that's what the dogs are barking about. They're crazy. Keep a little sample. It's not carbonated, but tastes good. Tastes very good, actually. And then I'll put these away in a dark spot. My last batch is still not carbonating after 3 weeks. It's not very carbonated, and I did put the sugar in. I know I did. So I moved it, after 2 weeks, I moved it upstairs, and as I said to some friends, it was a triple Belgian triple, and even though it's not carbonated after quite a bit of or after half, 2/3 of the bottle, you just really don't care, because it's the average alcohol on that one is 8.7, and I don't know. It's really strong. I mean, I'm kind of a sissy when it comes to beer. My wife even calls me cheap date. But wow, it kicks my butt, and it's, you know, just like one little bottle. It's amazing. So that's pretty cool. All right, so here we go. This is the sanitizing solution. Everything has to be sanitized, sanitized, sanitized. That's probably like the most important step in home brewing beer. I love this new conical fermenter. I just, you know, I brew the beer up on the stove and everything, pour it into the fermenter, carry it down, set it onto the rack here, put the top on, let it ferment. It bubbles away at the little thing on the top there. And while it's doing that, there's a collection bowl where all the yeast and the sediment drops down into. When you're ready to bottle, you take the collection thing off and you put the tube on. I wasn't thrilled with the way it came. It just came with a little shut-off thing, and it was a real thick tube. And I'm used to using the bottle wand, so I just hooked a little pipe clamp, and I hooked the hose to it, and it works fine. Somebody suggested it on the internet, and it really works fine. So filling the bottles, you know, you push it down in, and there's a little I don't know what you want to call it, a little thing at the bottom that once you push it, it starts filling, and it's just so handy. I tried to let the bottle flow over just like a hair, but I didn't make it on that one. But just because, like, the sanitizing solution's supposed to be okay for you, but I'm not like real thrilled with that idea. They said it won't change the flavor or anything like that. So if I can, I let it flow over just a hair. And I know I'm wasting beer, but you know, if it's going to taste a little teeny tiny bit better, I'm all for that. Had a occasion this past weekend, little there like that one. We had a family picnic, and I tried giving out samples of the beers to people, and you know, and it's not a knock, but I mean, people are used to drinking, you know, a certain kind of beer, whatever they drink. Budweiser, a Yingling for me. I drank Yingling for years. And my kids started picking on me. Dad, you're so boring. You just drink Yingling all the time, you know. So I started trying some of these other beers. And it's like, wow, I really like these, like wheat beers. That's what I'm doing here. Actually, this is the this kit. I've been using the kit so far. This is my 5th brew. This is the it's called Hefewheaten because it's Will Wheaton's recipe for a Hefeweizen beer. And I was like really curious, you know. So I bought the kit. You know, what can I say? I could have just got a kit at the local homebrew store. I go to Keystone Homebrew Supply, which is right in Bethlehem here. They also have another one down in Montgomeryville, which is curiously actually sometimes a little easier for me to get to, just because it's on my way back from Philadelphia, so I can just stop there when I come up here on 9. But it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, it's the same place. The one in Montgomeryville, quite frankly, is a little bit bigger than the one in Bethlehem. I think Bethlehem is the original store, but they're great people to deal with. They're always very helpful. Every time I go in there, I have questions for them, and they do their best to help me out. Last time I was there, I was looking into kegging, because this is kind of like the biggest pain in the whole thing is bottling. But since I got this the conical fermenter, and I can just hook it, I don't have to transfer it from one bucket like this one here, if you can see it. This is the ferment bucket, which I'm not using for to keep the Santa clean in. You have to transfer it from this into the bottling bucket, and you have to put like a pump in there and keep it an inch or so off the bottom so that you don't get any of the sediment. Well, sometimes you get it anyway. You know, my first couple batches, I had bottles that had sediment in them. It's no big deal. I mean, it's not going to hurt you, especially if it's just a little bit. But it just seems, I don't know. It's just annoying. You know, what can I say? I don't want people to get, what's that? You know, what's that taste? What's that thing that was just in there? When they drink the brews, I mean, you know, like I said, as it is, a lot of people are not used to, home brews. Oh, and I started to say, because that's the way my brain works. It goes off in 16 different directions. So at this last picnic I went to, I took my 2 remaining brews because my red ale is gone, and I had a coffee porter and a blueberry wheat, because I'm a big fan of the Sea Dog Wild Blueberry. While it doesn't taste like that, it's not bad. It's got a different, slightly bitter taste to it, but it's good. Anyway, so I took along my son brought me some little plastic cups, and I opened the bottle and I poured it into a bunch of different cups and I let people try it, and then I opened the other one and I poured that into cups and I let people try it. And I said, hey, okay, I got some more here if anybody wants a whole bottle. And like nobody really took any. So I think I drank 1 or 2 of them myself. No, you know what? I drank one, and my son Corey does like the home brews. He's the one that used to pick on me. So I learned that it's something you do for yourself or don't bother. What can I say? Man, I got like I had the hose inside of one of the bottles while I ran upstairs, and it didn't seem to be filling or anything. So I came back down and I'm doing some stuff, and I look and hear the beer is leaking out the top of the bottle. I'm like, no! So there's probably a bottle of beer on the bottom of that container, and I'm really kind of bummed out about that, but not gonna. If I get one less bottle, lesson learned, right? So, and if anybody's messaging me, I'm sorry I can't see it. So like the brew time's about, you brew for an hour. Probably takes 2.5 to get it all done. In all honesty, you brew it, then you put a lid on it, you put it in the sink, and you let it cool down. The bottom there that's causing these bottles to fall over. You let it cool down. and very quickly as possible. And then you add your yeast. You put it in your fermenter. Everything's been sanitized. Sanitize is like what this whole thing, the number one thing you have to remember. But then you just you put it in the fermenter and you let it go for 2 weeks. Now, a lot of the instructions say to do a secondary ferment, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just the reasoning behind it is to let the sediment settle, and I don't know. It settles very well here. In fact, it goes into that other thing, so I'm not worried about it. Like, if there's ever a recipe that says you have to do a secondary for another 2 weeks to help the brew, well, fine, I'll do that, no problem. But to do it for this, not so much. So the bottles you can buy at the brew store. They're $12 for a case worth of bottles, or you can go and you can spend a little bit more money on beers at the beer store, because what the heck, you were going to pay $12 for, so say if your beer costs you $6 more, but it's in a craft bottle, this is a good thing. What's a craft bottle? Craft bottle is, and I got a